Welcome to Gems of Knowledge with your host, David Bellman and Justin Kroll. Each week, our experts will answer all of your jewelry questions with Rachel Putney, our social media maven, who will relay your questions to our experts. And now, here's your host, David Bellman.
Hi, I'm David Bellman, and welcome to another edition of Gems of Knowledge. I am joined here by, of course, the lovely Rachel.
How are you?
And Justin. Good to see you again.
Dave, good to see you too.
All right. So today what we're going to talk about is how to buy and sell estate jewelry. But mostly more about selling it, would you say, Justin?
Yeah,
okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we want to talk about all the kind of the ins and outs of selling jewelry. You know, a lot of us have been on eBay. We've done some business on eBay. You'll see a lot of jewelry out there. You know, how safe is it to sell your jewelry on eBay? You know, how would you even, go about liquidating, estate jewelry? We're going to help you with all those questions, and we have a bunch that people have sent in to us that we're going to answer for you today. And so let's get started.
Yeah.
Let's just get started as far as, Justin, tell us a little bit about the buying end of your business and how that works for most people.
Sure. So when a customer comes in, we have a few different options for them. We have, and I'll explain each one, liquidating. So they can come in today within, 15 minutes or however long it takes to go over those items, they can get a check.
Yep.
Done. They don't have to worry about it. It's my problem now. If I overpaid and I lose money, it's on me. They're completely done with the transaction.
Okay.
Sort of like when you send a Bitcoin. Once you send it, you're done. That's it.
Okay. All right, you got that in. You happy?
Oh my god!
But it's quick, it's easy. But these are at wholesale prices. When you liquidate something, when someone sells something that you meet, I think it's like anything, right? If you sell a car, you're going to go to one of these auto wholesaler guys or an auto auction.
Yeah, they got to make they got to leave some money on the table for them.
Someone has to make money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're gonna get a wholesale price, and that's one option for people, and a lot of people take that because
it works.
They want the money now.
They want the money now, and they don't want to deal with the other options, which are
I don't blame them.
Right, which are consignment.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so consignment is when they leave an item for us to try to sell in the retail store.
Yep.
But there's the good side, the upside for them would be they're going to get more money.
Right.
If it sells.
Right, and that's the downside. If it sells.
It's risky.
Yeah. Well, use jewelry, okay? I mean, if it's the nicer it is, the better chance you have. You still have to be reasonable in your prices.
Right.
But use jewelry, contrary to popular belief, isn't flying off the shelves.
No. I mean, it has to go to a very particular client. Especially a lot of the used jewelry that we're seeing that's coming through is in yellow gold, for example. Mm-hmm. And there isn't a huge demand for yellow gold jewelry right now. Most people are wearing white gold and silver. And yellow gold is starting to come back, but it's not in a big enough way to, justify all the yellow gold jewelry that we'll take on consignment. So
right.
That's part of but you get the right customer to come in and it's something that they love, and then you can get you get a much higher value for it and make more money.
And if the price is right, people will prefer to buy it pre-owned versus buying the same thing new that obviously is going to cost more for them.
Yep.
But that's people putting things on consignment don't always want to put their price low enough. But it's just not going to sell if they want to.
That's it. Yeah. I mean, that's the way supply and demand works. You know, if there's a big supply out there and then not a lot of demand, you're not going to get the highest prices.
Well, even that's true. But even on top of that, when I explain it like this, when someone has something, if you have two pieces of jewelry here and they're identical, if the new one is $1,000, if you're going to put a used one on consignment for $950 and it comes with no paperwork, no guarantee, no anything from the store, people aren't going to buy it. So it has to be priced right.
Of course.
And I usually recommend about half to 2/3 of what it would sell for new. Otherwise, people are just going to buy the new one.
Of course. just like buying a car.
Any,
Right.
Yeah.
Certain pieces, even with the Rolex watches that we were talking about, the minute they're not new anymore, I mean like literally the minute they're not new anymore,
Yeah.
the price drops.
Yes.
It's just, that's the way it works.
Yep.
If you didn't buy it out of a Rolex store that day and you buy it the next day from somebody else one day later, you're not going to get the full price for it. It's impossible.
That's correct.
And the watch may never have even come out of the box yet, which doesn't matter.
Right.
It doesn't matter. It's been pre-owned. All right. So what's next? So what we want to talk about, obviously we talked about the time, how consignment works. How about when people want to liquidate their jewelry versus consignment? I guess we kind of talked about that a little bit. So liquidating meaning that they're selling it right then and there for cash.
Yeah, they're going to get a check for it immediately.
Yeah.
Some of the things that we can recommend to our viewers of where to go and what to look for when they're liquidating, when they choose to liquidate.
Yep.
Number one, open transparency with the store. The scale that they might be weighing things on is right there.
Yep.
Maybe the scale like ours are certified by the state and has a
Very
seal
important.
on it.
Yep.
Just transparency, great reputation.
Yep.
They should be able to explain what their items, why they're getting the offer that they're getting, not just some guy who takes it, goes out back, does his thing and comes back, it's
With a number.
$100.
Right.
Yeah.
How did you come up with that? When people come in to see me or Rachel, we show them what they have. We
Yep.
show them the value. We show them what we're paying versus that.
Yep.
And we explain why the price is what it is.
We're also open about showing them the offers that we're getting.
Yeah.
If it's a diamond, we can text a diamond dealer right there. What are you paying us?
Yeah.
And
That's
we'll
true.
show the customer, this is what we're getting.
Yeah.
And
Just work on a commission.
we work
Yep.
on 10% or less,
Yep.
if it's a smaller stone.
Excellent.
If it's bigger, smaller. But just transparency
Okay.
would be
So-
my advice.
Here's my big thing. Like some people will come in and they'll say, well, I'll go and I'll sell it on eBay or I'll put it on Craigslist or something like this. And of course, when it comes to Craigslist, folks, don't even bother because
It's too
every
dangerous.
Yahoo, will be coming to your house saying, "Where's that $50,000 worth of jewelry?"
Right.
And you're on your own. It's not worth it. But eBay and some of these other online services, let's talk about those because people do those all the time.
Absolutely. So just a couple weeks ago, just so you know, on Craigslist,
Yep.
it wasn't jewelry related. Across the street at Rite Aid, someone got knocked in the head over a PlayStation.
Here,
Yeah.
really?
Like $100 PlayStation. It was in the paper.
Wow.
Now imagine if they knew you had a $5,000 diamond ring.
Exactly.
What
It's
are they
just not
going to
worth
do?
right.
Okay, so it's very dangerous to do that, like you said.
Yep.
eBay, I'll tell the story of the David Yurman ring. So, we've been, and we know the ins and outs of eBay
From the beginning.
From the beginning, right.
we were there.
So we're an experienced seller. We have, all the right feedback and tools to make these transactions safe and secure.
Yep.
And even us, we get burned. So eBay, I'll tell you a quick story. So I
Sure.
had a David Yurman ring, beautiful. It was in mint condition. It was practically never worn. It was just a gorgeous. Took 14 photos of
Yep.
it, put it on eBay. It sells right away.
Sure.
Great. We ship it out after receiving payment. What the person did was got the package, opened up the box, took my David Yurman or our David Yurman ring
I know
out,
it's yours now.
put it on this finger, took the other one that was identical to it.
So she owned the same David Yurman ring that wasn't in good condition.
So she took hers off, put it in the box, and initiated a return through eBay.
Wow.
Sent it back to me. I opened the package. 2 diamonds missing.
It's awful.
Yeah, dirty. I mean, clearly
We
not
took
a ring.
pictures of it and we compared it to the pictures that we were like, this is 100% not a ring. There's diamonds missing. They don't just fall out while you send them there.
Right.
It was completely unpolished. It was crap.
It looked like someone had worn it for 20 years. And
Yeah.
we took side by sides. We put them in a
The
document.
stamp was completely polished out.
Oh, yeah,
Ours was
the stamp
all there.
wasn't even there.
Yurman stamp.
Sent them
Wow.
to eBay.
Okay.
eBay said write it off as a business expense.
Yep.
Where there's nothing.
They
you
said
can
there's
do.
no proof. You
Yeah.
can't prove
I said,
that.
what about the
that's-
pictures? They said anyone can alter pictures in Photoshop.
Oh, so now we're the bad guys?
Yep.
They
So-
won't back up buyers. They're going to back up the sellers.
That's right. And the reason why eBay figured out a long time ago that they could have 1 million guys like us, honest, great sellers on eBay,
Yep.
but if there's no buyers, there's no business.
That's right.
The only thing they care about is the buyer, and they side with them every time.
Wow. I did not know that.
So if you want to our viewers,
Yeah.
you know, if eBay sounds great to you, well, it might work out, but something like this
does
could happen
happen.
to you.
Well, that's an extreme, but I'm just even talking about a lot of the stuff that I've seen over the years that's come through, and we've seen it like through the FBI and things like that, because they'll bring us stuff to have us identify it for them because they have cases of people selling fraudulent jewelry on eBay or someplace else. And, you know, it's CZ jewelry. You get it. You don't know that it's legit. I mean, they have they send you a bunch of fake paperwork that comes with it.
Right.
And you're screwed. Basically.
Well, there's all sorts of scams like that on eBay and other sites, but particularly if people are going to sell theirs,
Yep.
meaning our viewers want to sell an old engagement ring or something, here's some things that people do all the time. They'll send out an old engagement ring. They'll think they got a great price.
Yep.
And then the guy will, send it back because they'll say he didn't want it. Switch the
That's
stone
what I
out.
mean. Yeah.
Right.
No, all kinds of stuff like that.
Yeah.
Well, I had a customer in here just a few weeks ago that not a piece of jewelry. It was something else he sold, like sports memorabilia, something.
Yep.
The same thing happened to him. He sent it out. The person returned it, sent completely
A
something
different piece.
Different piece. And eBay couldn't help him.
Yeah.
It was that's just the way it
It's
goes.
scary.
Yeah.
And
So all these people have to do is just send anything back to you and prove that they mailed something to you,
Yeah.
and they're
Yeah.
basically covered.
that's
Yep.
right.
Could be an empty box.
Yeah.
Probably, yeah.
And it's happened to us several times, and you make a choice, right?
I know.
You either continue using it or you or you stop using it, or you continue using it and just write those things off as a loss.
Okay, so but what I guess really what we're saying here for everyone is even when we've been doing this for over 15, maybe 20 years, we've been working with eBay, and just so that you know, even experienced organizations that do a lot of business with these guys, it's risky for us, and people who are buying know that too. So they're not willing to even really pay top dollar for anything.
Everything on eBay is a fire sale price.
Yep.
You have to sell a $10,000 ring for $3,500, and maybe you can sell it. People don't want to pay anything on eBay. That's my experience.
Oh,
Would you
yeah.
say
The
same?
prices that we accept for things, I mean,
Yeah. No.
there's little profit, but you're getting rid of the ring.
Right.
So,
Well, yeah, I mean, so there's obviously some use of it, out there, but it really isn't your best option, especially for people who are trying to do it on their own. And that's my point is people say, I'll just put it on eBay. I'll take some pictures and I'll put it out there and I'll sell it. It's like, it's not worth it.
One other thing I want to add.
Yeah.
It is a full-time job. Listing one item could take 8 hours by the time you photograph it, edit the photos, list it on eBay, answer all
then
the
you
emails,
get all the messages.
pack it, ship it, deal with returns. One item.
Yeah. Yeah, when eBay
So-
first started, it was a lot of one-item people, but not anymore.
Right.
Now they're all just businesses that are basically doing it. Guys like us that
Yeah.
are doing it.
I mean,
in
for
volume.
us, we do enough business on eBay that it
Yeah.
takes care of once in a while when things like that happen. But if someone's just going to sell their one ring to try and get a little bit more than what a dealer can offer them, they're probably going to end up just getting less.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
Okay. Well, that's one of the things. And the other one is sometimes when we've had this happen for us where people bring in some really unique, very high-end pieces, and we've been putting them out into auctions like Christie's or Sotheby's.
Sure.
Let's talk a little bit about that opportunity.
Yeah, well, the things that the opportunity that we can offer people is we have dealer accounts with those auction houses.
Yep.
So let's say if just the random person went to Christie's, they would charge them 8 to 10%.
Yep.
Our account is 3%.
Yep.
So we can promote the item. We can make 1 or 2% helping them do it. There's not too much effort on our part.
Yep.
We can enter the item into the auction house for them, do a little bit of promotion for the item, and help.
And promoting it's important.
Yeah.
People have to be aware that this stuff's going up for auction. You know, everybody thinks, oh, you just put it in auction, everybody's watching. No, not everybody's watching. They don't know, especially people who are collectors of certain types of pieces, like people who like to collect diamonds or emeralds or whatever. Those types of people need to be made aware of the fact that these pieces are out there, and that's why the publicity is so important.
Yes.
Just going to Christie's and just putting your stuff out there, you know, it can just get lost.
So that's what we do for them. But I'll tell you a quick story. This happened recently, but I'll use round numbers just to make it easy. So, person came in with a large diamond. I was able to get them an $80,000 offer from a dealer.
Okay.
The dealer offered me like 82. I was able to, net them $80,000.
Yep.
So they decided they want to go into auction. So auction has these same type of dealers that want to pay around 82,000, but now there's a 22% buyer's premium.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know it works on both sides. You know, the buyer pays a premium and the seller pays a premium.
Yes. So what happened was they ended up getting, all the dealers that were there wanted to pay that 82,000.
Yep.
So they had to pay, their bid was 82,000 minus 22%.
Yep.
So she got, they bid maybe somewhere around 68,000.
Right, because they got to build it into the price.
They got to build it into the price. So the highest bid was somewhere around 68,000.
Yep.
It sold because she put it out with no reserve. She thought it was worth a lot more than the 80,000. So she thought it was going to go for 100 or 150. The highest bid was 68.
Yep.
Then she had to pay her 8%
premium
on top of that.
Yep.
So she ended up getting, somewhere around 60. She would have been better off just taking the dealer's offer.
Oh yeah, no, for sure.
So auctions aren't always the best scenario. Now, 1 out of every 1,000 auctions, you get 2 people bidding on the same item.
Yeah, you get a competition going.
Then you get a bidding war, and then you hear and when you hear of these stories where the price goes 10 times higher than that, you only hear the good stories. You never hear the ones where it was supposed to go for 100,000 and it ended up at 30.
Right.
You only hear the good ones. So
you're taking a huge risk.
It's a risk.
Yeah, no, without a doubt. And again, I've seen it time and again with car auctions, certainly with the Christie's auctions and the jewelry auctions, memorabilia, things that we've seen over the years. It's crazy how some things can just sell for way more than they're worth just because you have 2 people who are battling it out, and it's an ego thing. It's not even a money thing anymore.
Absolutely.
It's just who's going to win the game.
Yeah.
And but you can't invest your money or expect to have that happen to you every time, because it just doesn't happen that often, like you said.
Right.
So that's a good point. All right. So one last thing we want to cover. Obviously, it makes then. I guess your point is that obviously, in many cases, it could make more sense to sell it to a dealer. I mean, people need to. You actually would have to sit down and do the math, right? So you say, well, look, if your item, like you just said, she probably would have had to have sold it at the auction for maybe 110 or 120, so that after all the fees were taken out, she would have gotten.
That's right.
So she would have had to have anticipated it going up that high.
Right.
And just on the buyer side, she should have realized that there's just no way that anyone's going to pay that kind of a 22% premium. Yeah. So.
A lot of times it's just better off to get a solid offer from someone that's willing to do it today versus maybe a higher price 6 months from now at an auction.
Okay. Well, before we wrap it up, what advice would you say to people who are contemplating? Because a lot of people have, especially the last few years, there have been a lot of inheritances where people have been inheriting, things from their grandmother or grandparents, and they end up ultimately having a whole bunch of jewelry. And we've talked about this a little bit, where sometimes you go through the jewelry box and you don't even know what's real and what's not. So let's first figure out what's real. And then when you find the real pieces, what's the best way to liquidate them if that's what you want to do?
Rachel, I'll let you take that one.
Okay, well, first of all, depending on where you're going, you want to make sure that they're reputable and honest, because if you go in not sure about what you have, they could take advantage of you. So you want to avoid that at all costs. We've had people come in who said, no, this is all fake. Don't worry about it. And we went through it and we're like, no, it's not. You actually have a couple $1,000s here. And they're like so appreciative. And, you know, they appreciate that we're honest about that, because
that's where Google reviews comes in real handy.
Yeah.
So we say to do that, but then you might say to yourself, well, how am I going to do it? Well, you can. Just go on the internet.
Yeah.
You know, people are sharing all kinds of information about their experiences.
Yep.
So, yeah, don't be afraid to
We're
do
also
that.
not afraid to tell them to shop it around.
Right. That's
Get
number 2.
multiple offers and, you know, take the highest offer. A lot of people are going to be around the same price. Some people may just completely lowball someone, but you'll know by shopping around that it's going to be around a certain price, and take the highest offer.
Yeah, or go with whoever you're the most comfortable with.
Yep.
That too. Yeah, absolutely. So that's important. It's all about trust. It's all about understanding, you know, who you're dealing with, doing your due diligence, as we like to say,
Right.
and go out there and make sure that, you know, you're making a good decision and not just selling it to the first place you walk into.
Right.
And we tell people that same kind of a story when they buy an engagement ring. Don't just buy from the first jewelry store. Shop around and just make sure that you're confident that you're getting the best deal. And it always works out.
All the time.
Yeah. Well, that's really good information. I'm glad today that we had an opportunity to bring that out to you, because we've been seeing a lot of that action happening lately, and we know that it's really important for you to understand all the ins and outs of what's going on in this process. And of course, you can always reach out to us. And you know, reach us through Bellman's, Bellmans.com. If you ever have any questions, you can certainly drop some emails on that account, and we'd be happy to answer them for you. And
Justin, Rachel, or David at Bellman's.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's true. Yeah, or our email addresses, which is like Justin just said, at Bellmans.com. We're here and always available, and no charge. You know, it can be anywhere in the country, anywhere. It doesn't matter. Just call. If you have questions, just email us. We're always going to return them and, you know, try to be as helpful as we can to you.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much. Hope you enjoyed the program, and we'll be back again next week. I think we might be talking about Bitcoins, but I'm not so sure.
Very exciting. Very exciting.
We'll see what the price is. Thank you.
Thanks, Dave.